improve. When I went to Ishasha, I was telling the ED, I think it was in 2013, 2014. We paid our money. I think I was about to demand that my money is paid back. We tried to track that climbing lions. We failed. But I saw in the picture, and he has confirmed that now they have multiplied, and they are very many. I think I need to go back and see how you've been able to transform this area. So I really want to appreciate this. So wildlife conservation, therefore, is not only an environmental imperative, it is also an economic necessity. The tourism sector remains one of Uganda's leading sources of foreign exchange and employment creation and community livelihoods. The protection and sustainable utilization of our wildlife resources directly contribute to the implementation of the 4th National Development Plan and the Uganda's 10-fold growth strategy that is aimed at expanding Uganda's economy. It is encouraging that the strategic plan before us rightly focuses on sustainable management of wildlife and protected areas, biodiversity conservation and ecosystem restoration, tourism development and investment promotion, community participation and benefit sharing, technology and innovation in conservation management, institutional strengthening and resilience, and strategic partnerships for conservation and sustainable development. Equally important are the client charter and service delivery standards that are being launched today, and these, as has already been said, are instruments that clearly define the services that Uwa offers, the standards that citizens and stakeholders should expect, and the responsibilities of both service providers and the service users. They represent a social contract between Uganda Wildlife Authority and the people of Uganda. They reinforce the principles of transparency, accountability, responsiveness, and citizen-centered service delivery that are at the heart of public sector transformation. And as government, we are increasingly placing emphasis on results, accountability, and measurable improvements in service delivery. Strategic plans, client charters, and service delivery standards are not merely compliance documents. So government is not saying, please come up with these documents because we want to tick the boxes. No. So these documents drive performance. They create public value and ensure that public institutions deliver tangible outcomes for the citizens. Their success will ultimately be judged by the extent to which they improve conservation outcomes, enhance visitor experiences, strengthen community livelihoods, and contribute to Uganda's national development. However, good policies and strategies alone do not deliver results. The real test lies in implementation, and this has already been emphasized by the chairperson and other members. The real test lies in implementation, it lies in coordination, it lies in monitoring and accountability. And as presented by Susan, our role as Office of the Prime Minister, as the chief coordinators of implementation of government programs and projects, we shall continuously monitor to ensure that this is implemented. The success of this strategic plan will therefore not be measured by the number of meetings held, reports produced, or projects implemented. It will be measured by the value created for the people of Uganda, and this will be demonstrated through better protected wildlife and ecosystems, increased tourism arrivals and revenues, reduced incidences of poaching and illegal wildlife trade, improved relationships with communities neighboring the protected areas, enhanced visit experience and citizen satisfaction, and more jobs and livelihoods that are created. and greater contribution of the tourism and wildlife sector to national development. And achieving these aspirations will require a whole of government and whole of society approach, because conservation cannot be the responsibility of Uganda Wildlife Authority alone. It requires collaboration among government institutions, the local governments, the development partners, the private sector, conservation organizations, local communities, and every citizen of Uganda. Because I've seen many times you are struggling with these communities who are poaching, you are struggling with the local government. Sometimes you have achieved greater strides, but then when you go to the local governments, they are doing a completely different thing. So I believe you need to do much more with your partners to ensure that they share in your dream, especially the local governments. You need to come up with a strategy on how you are going to work with them to take this to the level that you want. So communities living around protected areas in particular must be viewed not merely as beneficiaries, but as indispensable partners in conservation. When communities see and experience the benefits of conservation, they become its stronger custodians and defenders. As the Office of the Prime Minister, and specifically under my mandate for performance and service delivery, we remain committed to supporting Uganda Wildlife Authority and all public institutions by strengthening institutional and human resource capacity, by promoting efficiency and innovation and results-oriented management, supporting the implementation of performance management systems, enhancing monitoring and evaluation, and providing strategic oversight and guidance to improve service delivery and accountability. I have said this over and over again. Many times when we come to monitor and support, sometimes we are mistaken to be like Auditor General, Anti-Corruption Unit, IGG. For us, we are supportive. We provide a supportive role. Our role is to find out the facts on the ground, identify those bottlenecks that could be impeding your performance, and then we work with you and support you. So let us know, even when we are not there, to know where you are challenged, and we shall ensure that we come to support you. Uganda Wildlife Authority occupies a strategic position in our country's development agenda. The institution has the opportunity not only to conserve wildlife, but also to demonstrate how public institutions can effectively balance environmental sustainability, economic growth, and community well-being. A very, very strategic opportunity. And I can see that you are using this to deliver your mandate, and I do appreciate. The other day, I happened to be at a function where the ED was, and you are head of HR. And I told the team that was seated near me that, when you find these two together, then you know that you do not have to struggle in terms of achieving the results of the institution. Because I know both of them. I know where they worked before. They have a demonstrated track record of excellence in terms of service delivery. So the board of trustees, you have really gold amidst you. But also when I came this morning and saw the other team members, the heads of department, the assistant commissioners that have been introduced, and the entire team and all the stakeholders, I don't even think that the sky even is the limit for you. So I really congratulate you upon having this great team. And I'm confident that with committed leadership, dedicated staff, and strong partnerships that have been demonstrated here, Uganda Wildlife Authority will continue to safeguard our priceless natural heritage and position Uganda as a premier tourism destination and a global leader in conservation. And on behalf of the Office of the Prime Minister, the Office of the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, and in my capacity as the Deputy Head of Public Service, responsible for performance and service delivery, I once again congratulate the board, management and staff of Uganda Wildlife Authority on this important achievement and assure you of our continued support in the implementation of these strategic documents. It's now my singular honor and privilege to officially launch the Uganda Wildlife Authority Strategic Plan, the Client Charter, and Service Delivery Standards for the period 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. I thank you for your kind attention, and I say all this for God and my country.
Thank you very much, our chief guest. I'm going to request that you do not actually sit, but rather you are joined by the Permanent Secretary, Chairperson of the Board and Board members, first and members of top management, and because we need to sign these dummy documents, and then we shall have a group photo. Thank you very much. Yes, and board members, please, board members, you accompany the chairperson. Even private sector, we are all going to sign, but we can't do it at the same time because of space. So we have them. Okay, fine. Here we are. The ED is also part of the board, Banangi. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I see the Permanent Secretary is also going to sign. Can we have colleagues from NPA and the Minister of Public Service, please? Yes. Colleagues from the Minister of Public Service, National Planning Authority, please join in. Don't fear, this signature won't do any harm. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to request colleagues here to help me. Our staff, please, who are here, can kindly reach. Come, we have a word. Wanok, Jean, I see. Yes, come. Our staff, yes, come. Yes. Yes. Yes, you can append a heavy signature there to demonstrate that actually you believe these documents are going to be implemented. We've got the commitment from the board and the executive director that these must be implemented to the letter, and for us as the action officers, all we do, we say we'll call over and we continue. Yes. Please, members of top management, please come in. Our stakeholders, please join in. Members of senior management, you are the guys who are going to implement these documents. So don't fear signing them. And every signature you append there is a commitment that you are going to implement. I want to see who is going to avoid signing. Because I'm going to see, is Kapere going to sign this SP or not, for example? I want to be sure. You know, a man spent sleepless nights with the SP. If he doesn't sign, I'll get worried. Yes. Having spent sleepless nights working on a document, I want to see also you committing that you will implement it. Mr. Makombo has already committed that he's going to implement this. The Commissioner Human Resources has already committed. The ED has committed. I've seen the Acting Commissioner Finance Admin committing. The Commissioner Field Operations is making a commitment there. Commissioner Legal and Corporate Affairs has also committed. Acting Commissioner Tourism is also making a commitment there. Herbert Biargaba, Chairperson Usaga, is also committing as guides. They're also going to help us. Yes. Mr. Bizimungu. Yes. Bizimungu is the Honorary Wildlife Officer and the former Chairperson LC5 for Chisoro District. Very, very supportive of wildlife conservation. Yes. Abel Bizimungu, thank you very much. We appreciate you. I see the Commissioner Community Conservation is also making a commitment there by way of appending his signature. And then Assistant Commissioner Monitoring and Evaluation is also doing the same. And Assistant Commissioner Conservation Planning is also doing the same. I see the Assistant Commissioner Investigations and Intelligence is also doing the same. Kwegamba, everyone. The pilot is also Assistant Commissioner. Yeah, the pilot is also doing the same. I'm seeing the Assistant Commissioner Human Wildlife Conflict. All these people are making a statement of commitment. Now, if you see someone who is not committing, tomorrow you may not hold them responsible. So we need to see who is dodging. I want to see whether, for example, the Assistant Commissioner of Human Resources is going to append a signature or not. We are waiting to see. Philo, we are waiting for you to come and append your signature here. Meanwhile, we are making arrangements for a group photo here. We'll have our group photo from here inside. Yes. Our partners are also coming. Yes, shortly we are going to have a group photo and then retreat for lunch. Chief Warden, Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area, Kisame Fred, is here ready to make a statement of commitment to the implementation of the 3 strategic documents, and is followed by the Chief Warden, Lekimboro Conservation Area. Mr. Wanyama Freddy is also there to make a commitment to the implementation of these strategic documents. Assistant Commissioner Conservation Education and Awareness, Vanis Mirembe, is also here to make a statement of commitment to the implementation of these 3 strategic documents. Of course, all the board members have already, at least those who are here, they have appended their signature and they are committing that implementing these documents is non-negotiable. Yes. Yes. No, we can have this one in the background. It's okay. I don't know whether it will be possible. We need just for the board and for only this table. Largely, once we have this table covered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to have our group photo and then break off for lunch. Of course, after lunch, departure will be at leisure.
Uwa TV, voice of the wild.
I'm feeling cold. I feel tired.
Adui wapi? Adui yako.
It's believing in God that all things are possible.
Welcome to one of Africa's highest, most remote and unknown mountain ranges located in Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, bordering the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Rwenzori Mountains are stretched out over 120 kilometers long and 61 kilometers wide. They are called Mountains of the Moon or even the Rainmaker, especially as she produces up to 350 days of rainfall annually. 13 Ugandan mountain climbers are about to set off on a journey to climb the highest peak of this pristine mountain range called the Margarita Peak.
This expedition, funded by the United Nations Development Program, is intended to showcase the beauty of the Rwenzori Mountain.
Flagged off by the United Nations Development Program country representative and Joshua Cheptegei, the fastest long-distance runner on Earth, the team will attempt to summit this unique peak while discovering the wonders of this mystical and demanding mountain range.
To the people of Rwenzori, you have the best place in the world. Treasure it, keep it.
I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to summit Rwenzori.
Watch out!
Look at this. This is amazing. This is Mount Rwenzori, and this is the national park. We will unveil to you the beauty of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
The best never rest. Our prayer is to reach on the top.
So I'm very proud to be part of this Rwenzori expedition. I'm proud to be doing this with Lily. We are the only two females who are doing this.
The sun is out right now and all is going well. Oh, Rwenzori, beautiful place to be.
Formed about 3 million years ago, the Rwenzori Mountains are a relatively young mountain and still growing. The Mountains of the Moon are blessed with a wide variety of flowers and plants. With every hour and every altitude gain, the landscapes, colors and views are ever changing. You can find different layers of vegetation, bamboo zones, mossy heather zone, lobelias, alpine zone, and eternal snow at the top of the mountain. This UNESCO-protected national park contains unique biodiversity and breathtaking sceneries such as eternal glaciers, snowfields, mountain lakes, and tropical rainforest. The wide diversity of flora and fauna make it the ultimate trekking experience.
It's an adventure. It's life. It's fun.
Very scenic. Amazing, amazing experience to go through the waterfalls, the hike itself, the boggy places. It was just amazing. But also a little bit more difficult, but I guess that is what the experience is all about. Beauty about it is that we are all working as a team.
I'm doing very well today. Last night I had a bit of a running tummy and a headache. I think it's an effect of the altitude sickness. And then I noticed this morning that my lotion is frozen. So I think we are at quite an altitude that is getting colder and colder. But I'm feeling great right now, and that's a good thing. My headache is gone and I'm looking forward to the day.
Everyone in life wants to get on the top. But what are the techniques? What's the way of reaching to the top? I have just come to realize reaching at the top is not easy. You have to pass so many things. It has never easy way. But when you believe in yourself, when you prepare your mind, I have a saying of saying that nothing is impossible.
The Kilembe Trail is a marvelous but challenging 82-kilometer hike that requires an 8-day trek with 6 days to the summit and 2 days of descent, depending on the weather conditions and the endurance of the hikers. Tiresome yet rewarding, this hike starts at 1,800 meters and culminates at an altitude of 5,109 meters on Mount Stanley, where the Margarita Peak is the highest point in Uganda and the third highest peak on the whole African continent after Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya. All accommodation, paths, bridges, woodblocks, stairs and rope sections have been built over the years by the local community, who now serve as guides and porters. They provide incredible knowledge, assistance and safety on the way to the top and back down.
So here we are at the height of 4,000 meters. And in the background, if you see straight, you will see the green buildings. That is Bugata camp.
I must have strained my ankle. It was not only a long walk, but it was quite steep coming down to camp. So this morning I just couldn't put my foot down. It was very difficult to walk. This is really helpful. I'm getting a celebrity massage. According to the local community traditions, two main spirits inhabit the Rwenzori Mountains, one man and one woman. Kitasamba, the spiritual god, is there to give blessings and protection. People pray to him for daily rain, the source of all life on earth. His wife is called Nyabagole, also known as Nyabinji. To enter into contact with her, one must spend time praying in the mountains and bring food and crops. People pray to her for fertility, love, and good fortune. One of the sayings is, if you respect the mountain, she will give it back to you.
Good evening, everyone. Ready for the mountain tomorrow?
Excited.
Yeah, so what we are going, no sleeping today. Thank you for being strong. Thank you for having gone through the mud up to this point. So we are here to give you the briefing for the summit tomorrow. Before we go to the rope practice. We have 3.6 kilometers just from here to the top of Margarita. But that short distance takes time. It takes around 5 to 7 hours. We've decided that we leave here at 1 a.m. So roughly from here to the first glacier, it may take us 2 hours. So getting to the first glacier, we shall need to have the crampons getting connected to the ropes. If there's any crevasse fall, if one falls into a crevasse, then we are able to pull you out so quick.
You transfer your hand. You push. You pull yourself up. You push. You transfer your hand. You put it this way. If you want to lock, because this one is locking.
I'm feeling cold. I feel tired. But I have to go and get to the peak of Margarita. It's believing in God that all things are possible.
Your body's gonna feel like breaking down. But your body's the only thing that can never give up on you. You're the only one who can give up, your mind. So mental power is gonna play a vital role. Your heartbeat, every single beat moving, you have to reserve as much energy as you can.
I am limitless. We are going on the top.
You're not competing with anyone to climb that hill, up that mountain. You're not competing with anybody. This is you, and you against yourself.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's getting late. Let's go.
I've not got such kind of experience in my life. I'm a fighter, I even fought my shadow. But this Rwenzori is becoming a hard blade.
Oh, I'm exhausted. Oh. Take on the ball!
Adui wapi? Adui yako. Oh Lord, we are climbing to the pitch. Huh?
This is a grade 5 reaching on the top of the mountain. We are the top of Uganda. Right! Woo-woo! Yeah!
Preserving the mountain is capital. Unfortunately, due to climate change, the ice cap has reduced considerably over the years. With up to 350 days of rain per year, the Rwenzoris provide water to around 5 million people within the area of the mountain. This water flows to the River Nile, the longest river on earth, and continues its journey to Sudan and Egypt. Locals believe Khaleesi is a spiritual entity helping human beings enter into contact with nature to discuss with the wildlife and the mountain directly. That's how the local community receives knowledge from the trees, all types of plants, and medicinal herbs. People love and respect this mountain so much for the water, the medicine, and the incredible vegetation it offers. Rwenzori's glaciers, magnificent waterfalls and lakes make it one of Africa's most beautiful alpine areas. Uganda Wildlife Authority has been actively protecting the many endangered species within the national park, such as the blue turako and the three-horned chameleon. This unique biosphere is a true gem that needs to be preserved not only for the many endemic species it contains, but also for the local community, which directly benefits and lives from the mountain's gifts.
We are going to rescue the drone because our drone is just hanging up there in the middle of the rocks. So we are going to climb up there and make sure we have to come along with it. But before that one, we are planning first to make sure we are safe. Everyone, especially the one who is coming to be removing the drone from down, is supposed to be safe on the rope. We're also going to be giving communication, especially directing him where he's supposed to go. This rock is just having moss which are very slippery. They contain some water.
Guys, be careful!
You're almost reaching. Are you okay?
Hey!
Have you got it?
I have it!
Super!
Carrying 50 kilograms. They are climbing. These are the porters. And these guys, they keep moving on speed. You think that these guys are immortal? They work with passion. They know every step, every corner.
We are around 75 porters, including the guides. We are now 85 people in the whole group.
Some of our colleagues have just arrived now from Hanwick's camp. They have given us information that our friends have just got stuck in the way. They have been weak. They have done a lot of work. They have moved long distances. Some are affected by altitude. So we are collecting ourselves together to rescue them.
There is great knowledge that they have, the skills that they have is comparable to none that I have seen elsewhere. They're superheroes. They're really super.
Many newly discovered waterfalls are tributaries flowing into the powerful Nyamukasani River that runs from the Rwenzori Mountains through Chalumba, Chondo, and Kisinga sub-counties to Lake Edward. They flow over rocks that present themselves like a silver lining to form a misty situation down the valley when viewed from a distance.
This is a completely new trail which has even like 17 waterfalls just along this trail.
In 8 days, we have experienced so many things. Besides the experience of the mountain, there has been the experience with the different vegetation along the different altitudes. No wonder it is a UNESCO World Heritage as well.
I saw something too brown. At first, I was like, what is this? Then I saw it try to come towards me. I stood up. I looked at it. It is beautiful.
Rwenzori Mountain offers trails for all levels of hikers, which range from 1 day to 10-day trips. The shorter trips are not as physically demanding and still showcase the amazing beauty and the art of nature, including rare vegetation, rivers, and numerous waterfalls. Rwenzori National Park is located on the foothills of Queen Elizabeth National Park, one of Africa's most popular game drives, and a few hundred kilometers from the Bwindi impenetrable forest that inhabits the endangered silverback mountain gorillas. And to quote Winston Churchill, "For magnificence, for variety of form and color, for profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast. For vast scale, Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa."
I encourage my country men and women to take interest in our domestic tourism promotion, to visit, to scale, to go, to climb that mountain.
I'm still trying to look for the one word to describe Rwenzori. Right now it is indescribable, but it's just magical.
There's something about it, it just changes you. You're suddenly humbled just realizing how great this mountain is.
It's incredible, beautiful. I don't even know the words to say. Like, guys, 9 days in the mountains, no phone, nothing. It's stress-free. I encourage everyone to take on Rwenzori.
This mountain has many mountains on it. Before you reach on the top, you climb, you slope, you climb and slope. We all reached at the pitch. No one was looking handsome apart from me.
Kidepo Valley National Park. In the African continent of dreams, the quiet savannah is more alive than it seems. The warning call of an impala, the scent and roar of a lion, reminding us he is unbeatable. And the cheetah speeds so quick as lightning, somehow undefeatable. The thrill of the chase and the excitement of the kill. You might call it a wildlife movie that rotates on survival for the fittest in the far north of East Uganda in Karamoja sub-region. Regardless what you call it, one thing stands out: the destination that is home to unique creatures. This is a tale of Kidepo Valley National Park. Location: Kidepo Valley Park, a tapestry of rugged scenery, vibrant wildlife, Karamojong warrior herdsmen, and the Ik people on remote Mount Morongole. This amazing wonderland is located near Karenga in Gabon district in the northeastern corner of Uganda. The park is approximately 220 kilometers by road northwest of Moroto, the largest town in the sub-region. It is approximately 520 kilometers by road northeast of Kampala, Uganda's capital and largest city. The park borders South Sudan in the northwest and Kenya in the northeast. Accessibility: by road. There are 4 routes by road: 705-kilometer journey from Kampala via Lira, Kotido, Kabong and then to Kidepo. The 780-kilometer journey from Kampala via Mbale, Soroti, Matany, Kotido, Kabong and on to Kidepo, and the 571-kilometer journey from Kampala through Gulu, Kitgum and to Kidepo. One will need a good 4x4 vehicle, especially during the rainy season. By air. Chartered aircrafts to Kidepo may be arranged from Kajansi or Entebbe International Airport to Lemej airstrip near the park headquarters. Flights take 2 hours. Even when Kidepo is the farthest park, what awaits you far outweighs the cost of a flight or the long journey to the true African wilderness. Background: once attributed to as the Forgotten Eden, Kidepo Valley National Park is popularly known as the true African wilderness found in the far northeast of the Pearl of Africa. Deriving its name from a Dodoth verb, akidep, meaning to pick up, Kidepo was inhabited by Dodoth pastoralists and the Ik farmers before it was gazetted as a game reserve in 1958.
This park is made up of 2 valleys. We have Narrows Valley, which is taken from the Karamojong word Erus, which means mud. And then the other valley towards South Sudan is called Kidepo. This is where the park got the name Kidepo from. Sometimes back before time of gazettement, there lived communities in this area. And they could be eaten by famine. And they resort to picking the fruits of the borasas palm trees. Therefore, when the time of naming this park arrived, the local community said, let us call this park Kidepo, to remember the times when they picked the fruits of the borasas palm tree. Hence, Kidepo is from the Karamojong word Kedep, which means pick something from down. Kidepo Valley National Park is located at the extreme northeastern corner of Uganda, and it is being bordered by 2 countries. To the northwest, we have got South Sudan, and then to the northeast, we have got Kenya. This park covers an area of 1,442 square kilometers, and it is the 3rd largest national park in Uganda, after Queen Elizabeth and Murchison Falls National Park.
The Dodoth, Ik, and Ketebo or Mening are the inhabitant farmers and hunters who lived in the area since the 1800s before it was gazetted as a game reserve. Later, the reserve was converted into the Kidepo Valley National Park in 1962. The purpose for gazetting it was both to protect the animals from hunters and to prevent further clearing of bush for sesafly control.
This park was gazetted to protect resident and migratory wildlife.
Uganda is one of the most ethnically diverse countries in the world and home to over 56 tribes and about 9 indigenous communities. These various ethnic groups have their own beliefs, culture, traditions, norms, and more. Among these groups, the Karamojongs are probably some of the most unique people in a multicultural setting. Free and full of life with their own set of rules, they stand out as one of the most interesting ethnic setups in the world. They own a unique culture and coexisting with the beauty and creatures of Kidepo Valley National Park. Geology. Traversed by large sand rivers, the park is renowned for its distinctive composition of wild game coexisting with the dry mountain forests, open savanna, and hilltops capped by various rock gorges. The isolated wilderness is dominated by the 2,750-meter-high Mount Morongole and transected by the Kidepo and Great Narus rivers. Perennial rains may make Kidepo an oasis in this beautiful semi-desert, but its tract of rugged savanna is home to 77 mammal species and almost 500 birds.
We have got 86 species of mammals in this park, and 28 are endemic. Among the endemic species, we have the Chandler's mountain reedbuck, the cliff springer, the Gunzat's dik-dik, among others. Then when we come to the carnivorous, we have the cheetah, which is the fastest cat in the world. It is only found here in Kidepo. We have got the striped hyena, the caracal, the bat-eared fox, among others. Also alongside, we have got other animals, elephants, giraffes, common eland, zebras, Jackson atlas, among others.
Game viewing is exciting all year round, and so is bird watching, foot safaris, and mount climbing. And even in the dry season, it is worth the drive just to visit the seasonal Kidepo River and stroll along its wide bed of white sand between banks covered with borassus palm trees. The soil in the park is clayey. In the Kidepo Valley, black chalky clay and sandy clay loam predominate, while the Narus Valley has free draining red clays and loams. Activities.
We have got a variety of activities that will keep you busy, one of which is a game drive. You are taken all around the valleys to have a look at the variety of animals that we have. We also have a ride or a drive to the hot springs called the Kanangoro, where you get naturally heated water. Another activity that you can engage yourself in is guided nature walk or walking safaris. You go out there, you interact, you move in the middle of the wildlife, buffaloes, giraffes, zebras. We also have community visit. You go and have experience of the Karamojong lifestyle, the way they jump, and you get the interpretation of this jumping. For example, we have the dance called Ewoya, which was interpreted to mean the more you dance or the more you jump higher, if you are a gent, the most beautiful lady you get. And if you are a lady, the higher you jump, the most handsome man you get. We also make you engaged in activities such as hiking. For example, we take you to Mount Lonyili, which is to the west of Narus Valley. We take you to Mount Morungole for hiking, and you also experience the lifestyle of a unique community called the Ik, which are extremely unique.
Kidepo Conservation Area supports a wide diversity of mammal species, several of which, like the cheetah, are only found in this park. Among the 77 species of mammals include localized carnivores like the bat-eared fox, striped hyena, and caracal, the lion, leopard, spotted hyena, and the black-backed and side-striped jackal. The park is also home to chandlers, mountain reedbucks, elephants, Burchell zebra, bush pig, Rothschild giraffe, bushbucks, large buffaloes, the eland, Gunther's dik-dik, as well as some primate species including the rare Patas monkey. It is a show like no other.
This park is blessed with the spectacular landscape and abundant wildlife, most especially herds of buffaloes that cannot be found anywhere in the world. Now, Kidepo is also blessed with the bird species. We have got about 500 species, and some of them are endemic. For example, the common ostrich, the rose-ringed parakeet, black-breasted barbet, among others.
The park contains two seasonal rivers, Chidepo and Narus, which disappear in the dry season, leaving just pools for the wildlife. Its seasonal nature also sets it apart as Uganda's most isolated national park, but the few who make the long journey north through the wild frontier region of Karamoja always agree that it is also the most magnificent, for it ranks among Africa's biggest wonders. From Apoka, in the heart of the park, a savanna landscape extends far beyond the gazetted area, towards horizons outlined by distant mountain ranges. During the dry season, the only permanent water in the park is found in wetlands and remnant pools in the broad Narus Valley near Apoka. These seasonal oases, combined with the open savanna terrain, make the Narus Valley the park's prime game viewing location.
Kidepo experiences two seasons. One short rainy season, which begins from the month of April and ends in October. And then the dry season completes the rest of the remaining months.
The valleys. The park consists of two valleys, Narus and Kidepo. The Narus Valley, which means muddy area among the locals, was also formerly known as the Water Provision Point. This area that was always scrambled for by the native tribes, the Napore and the Mening of South Sudan during the dry season, today serves as the heart of tourism due to the presence of water throughout the year, thus attracting a lot of wild animals. Kidepo Valley, where the park gets its name, is known for the Borassus tree plantations stretching approximately 100 meters wide, naturally planted by elephant droppings throughout the years. These trees also worked as the source of food during food crisis in the 17th and 18th century.
The valley floors of Narus and Kidepo Valley rise between 900 to 1,200 meters above sea level, whereas the summits we have to the west Lonyili Mountain and Morungole in the far northeast. These rise between 2,000 to 2,750 meters above sea level.
Kidepo prides of an extensive bird list of over 475 species, a number only second to Queen Elizabeth National Park's 625 species. Highlighted ones include the ostrich, Cory bustard, secretary bird, red-throated bee-eaters, and the Abyssinian ground hornbill. Kidepo is also notable for its various species of birds of prey, including the Verox eagle, Egyptian vulture, and pygmy falcon.
My country, I am a celebrity.
In the mountainous and picturesque landscape of southwestern Uganda, on the edge of the Rift Valley, lies a mist-covered ancient rainforest that is one of the country's oldest and most diverse, dating back over 25,000 years. The rainforest forms the 331-kilometer Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, a UNESCO-recognized World Heritage Site and home to about 50% of the global population of the endangered mountain gorillas. Bwindi is one of the 10 national parks managed by Uganda Wildlife Authority. Bwindi Impenetrable National Park is about 500 kilometers, or 6 to 8 hours drive from Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. The road trip is rewarding as you pass by the Uganda equator and traverse through different landscapes and cultures, notably through Ankole, the land of the Ankole longhorned cattle. Bwindi is 2 to 3 hours drive from Queen Elizabeth National Park through the southern sector of Ishasha. Ishasha is renowned for its tree climbing lions. The park can also be reached by air, It is served by 3 airfields at Chihihi, Kayonza in Kanungu, and Nyakabande in Chisoro. Bwindi Impenetrable Forest has its long share of history before it was gazetted a national park in 1991, as the senior warden John Justice Tibesigwa explains.
The park is a very important resource, first gazetted in 1932 as a forest reserve, and then in 1963 as a gorilla sanctuary, until 1991-92 when it was gazetted as a national park. And then in 1994 it was inscribed as a World Heritage Site. But the purpose for gazettement mainly was for the conservation and the protection of important biodiversity, particularly the mountain gorilla, which is endangered, and as well as other endemic species of life. But also important is the water catchment properties of the park for the benefit of the people of Uganda and the global community.
Bwindi has a rich fauna and flora community in East Africa with over 100 mammal species, some big, some small. The forest also nurtures over 400 plant species. Other mammals in the park include over 10 primate species, the elusive forest elephants, and several species of antelopes. Out of 200 butterfly species, 42 are endemic to the Albertine region. Bwindi hosts around 350 bird species that include about 23 Albertine Rift endemics. More famously, Bwindi Impenetrable Forest hosts around 50% of the endangered mountain gorillas in the world, making the park the best place to track our close cousins, the mountain gorillas. Though Bwindi offers a wide range of tourist activities, gorilla tracking is unconditionally the park's key attraction. Gorillas were first tracked in 1993 when tourists tracked the Mubari family, the first to be habituated. Only 8 visitors are allowed to track each of the habituated gorilla groups for 1 hour each day. Due to high demand for tracking permits, it is advisable to book tracking permits early enough to avoid last-minute dashing, which can spoil the experience. Each day, gorilla tracking starts early in the morning with a feast. Tourists are briefed and entertained by local dancing groups as they enjoy complimentary coffee.
And then also today we are going to have a good experience of penetrating an impenetrable. You know, Bwindi is an impenetrable national park. Also, here we work with communities. We've got a group of porters, or the support staff. And when we hire a porter, that's one who's supporting the communities directly by paying him or her a fee of around $15.
The ultimate gorilla tracking experience commences when tourists take the first step into the jungle with guides and porters. Security for visitors is paramount to Uganda Wildlife Authority, and armed rangers are on hand to escort visitors to the forest. Gorillas can be tracked any time of the year. Tracking can take a few to several hours, depending on the location of the gorillas, because gorillas never stay in one place. They are always on the move. Sometimes when the trek gets tough, even the tough take a break. Because gorillas are always on the move, there is a group of dedicated tracker rangers who follow each gorilla group ahead of tourists to establish their location. Once the lead trackers find the gorillas, they communicate the location to the guides, who lead the tourists to their much sought-after prize, the gorillas. When finally the treasure is found, it's joy and excitement. It's party time. Cameras click as selfies are shared across the world through various online platforms. Gorillas are so genetically similar to us because we share about 98% of our DNA with them. An average male mountain gorilla can weigh 180 kilograms and measure about 1.7 meters tall. Most mountain gorillas live in stable family groups with one dominant male and several females. Both males and females in the group care for their infants, hugging, caring and playing with them. Most males and females leave their birth groups when they get older and join other groups to prevent inbreeding. Males between 8 to 12 years are called blackbacks. From 12 years old, they develop a silver section of the hair over their back and hips, earning them the name silverback. The mountain gorilla is a subspecies of the eastern gorilla. Mountain gorillas live in East Central Africa in just 2 isolated groups. One group is in the Virunga Massif, a region spanning 3 countries, Uganda, Rwanda, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Some gorillas of the Virunga Massif live in Mugahinga Gorilla National Park in Chisoro. The second group is in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, which connects to Sarambwe Nature Reserve in DRC. The International Union of Conservation of Nature (IUCN) Red List of Threatened Species has removed the conservation status of mountain gorillas from critical endangered to endangered. Raurian Niwagawa, a guide in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, is here to tell us more.
These gorillas, their scientific name is called Gorilla berengei. However, we have other species of gorillas in this world. We have the Western Rwanda gorillas, we have the Cross River gorillas, but these ones are called specifically mountain gorillas, and they are endangered. Their gestation period can take 8.5 to 9 months, and they can get a baby after a difference of 4.5 years. The dominant silverback that leads the family is the only individual that is officially allowed to mate with the rest of the individuals. However, other boys in the group can sneak and also mate with the females in the group, but when that individual is got while mating with that individual, will be chased away from the group. The census of 2018 came up with some good results that these gorillas are no longer critically endangered because they crossed the line. They are now above 1,000, meaning they are no longer critically endangered, they are just endangered. Meaning the conservation efforts that our team has tried to put in this conservation of these gorillas has helped the gorillas to multiply.
The party day ends with a graduation ceremony where the visibly excited visitors are presented with gorilla tracking certificates.
Rebecca Manford.
Bwindi Impenetrable National Park has a rich fauna and flora. The best way to explore this beauty is by taking a stroll through the forest. The park has various trails in the forest used for nature walks, some short and others long. The nature walks, some with breathtaking views, bring you closer to the beauty of nature. The beauty is endless. Butterflies, plants, birds, and much more. Birding. For bird lovers, Bwindi is the birders' paradise. It hosts about 348 species with 90% of all Albertine Rift endemics, not easy to see in any other part of East Africa. Whenever there is wildlife near communities, there is bound to be human-wildlife conflicts. The conflicts usually arise when wildlife strays from the park to homesteads and gardens. Animals can destroy crops, forcing communities to retaliate, sometimes with ugly consequences. However, this has not happened. Uganda Wildlife Authority mitigates human-wildlife conflict using various means, including working closely with communities, because community-led approaches are considered more sustainable. One of the measures put in place by the park is the creation of buffer zones between the park and communities. The buffer zone is given to neighboring communities for agricultural use, specifically planting non-palatable crops that don't attract animals from the park.
Important about some of these aspects of human-wildlife conflict management was the establishment of the buffer zone. We grow unpalatable crops which are not palatable to many wild animals, and in this case of Nkuringo buffer zone, we've been able to grow tea. That is very, very important because the community is employed in maintaining the tea gardens, in picking the leaf, and also we have been able to establish from the revenue from the tea estate a scholarship scheme for the children who are school going in post-secondary institutions from this community.
As they say, necessity is a mother of innovation. After years of struggling with problem animals, Uganda Wildlife Authority has stretched the boundaries of imagination and creativity by training locals in managing problem animals using noise. The noisemakers, as they call themselves, are members of the community mobilized and organized in a group called HUGO. HUGO stands for Human Gorilla Control Team. HUGO members are facilitated with tools necessary to chase problem animals back into the park before they cause damage to their crops. Whenever animals stray from the park to communities, HUGO members make noise that irritate the animals and they go away.
HUGO is Human Gorilla Control Team. These are members selected from the community. The main problem animals we have are elephants, we have baboons, and also gorillas move out at times. For gorillas, they don't have to use noise. They don't have to chase them with the sticks, no. The reason we don't use noise is that most of these gorillas which move out are habituated gorillas, which are used to humans. If we use noise and sticks to chase them, they will fear people. So the next day, if tourists go to visit them, gorillas will be fearing and charge or run away from them. For elephants, being big animals, we provide guarding equipment, mostly because they come out at night. We provide torches, we provide vuvuzelas, they have drums, they have loud metallic instruments which they use. And at times they light the fire if the elephants stay close for a long time. And once the wind is favorable in the direction of the elephants, we use red chili. Once they smell red chili, they immediately move back to the forest. And we also provide them with the smart pads. These are smart pads where they are trained to use to record any incidences of problem animals that come out, and also the crop damages. For baboons, they are always on a constant move, mostly during the day. And we use guarding shelters in different villages along the boundary. At times we use live traps when baboons become uncontrollable. And these live traps, we don't have to kill the baboons. We only crop the leaders, and then the younger ones let them move freely. And also, rangers actively participate in these interventions.
HUGO members are selected by the community, and Uganda Wildlife Authority facilitates them to do their work. Sylvester Behangana is a member of HUGO.
We are 10 members who help if animals comes, like baboons, we chase them. If elephants come in the night, National Park help us to give torch, boliveras, gumboots. Even they help us National Park food when we are chasing. Benefit we get from the park. They give percent money to help our roads, to our schools, everything.
Some of the revenue generated from tourism in the park filters to the community through an intricate chain of conservation benefits.
20% of park entry fee generated from tourists is given to the local governments around the national park to implement community development projects in the parishes that touch the park. So the program has been implemented for over 20 years, and a lot has been done in terms of development of this area under this funding. In addition to the 20% park entry fee that the tourists pay, because we have a unique tourism product, the gorilla tracking, which does not happen anywhere in the country apart from our sister gorilla park, Mugainga Gorilla National Park, we added what we call gorilla levy of $10 for every gorilla permit that we sell onto the 20% park entry fee, consolidated together as tourism revenue sharing to the community. So this money goes to the communities through the local governments at the district and then sub-counties to implement approved projects that address a number of livelihoods, but also infrastructure and human wildlife management projects. So it has been able to put up a number of schools, it has been able to put up a number of health centers and dispensaries, a lot of livelihood projects such as cattle, goat rearing, sheep rearing, road infrastructure development have been funded under this project.
Some funds from the 20% revenue sharing from the park have been used to buy cows for community members in a revolving scheme. Lavina Mbambu Marure, Assistant Warden for Community Conservation, explains how this revolving fund works.
At the moment, we are in a home of one beneficiary who got a cow from the revenue sharing fund. And this cow, it was so fortunate that it gave birth to twins. And we have hope that as the revolving continues, every member of the community will benefit and the livelihoods of the community members will improve.
Perpetua Twebaze was given a cow from the revolving cow scheme. Her cow produced twins. She now has big dreams and a big smile.
Nahura nashemererwa sana sana na kama muri titanu sigemenya na kugira ngo ntazimarira aho kugira ngo amata naguzaho mpa abaturage aho mpikene nabo bona barampa ko bunyasi wanagezaho kwitora babona nkabagabira nkabaherura ni hamo kwezi ngume nabaha nara nabaherura nshoye twari hadayale nanye mfuna aho kunywa genda bintu n'ibirungi tari bibi.
Gardens Abandora is a subsistence farmer in Unkuringo Town Council. He never used to think much about the park until he was given a cow from the revenue sharing scheme.
Negeranya na park ko hari benshi bifuza inka ariko batashoboye kuba yashobora no kuyigura nanga yayibona. Niyo mpamvu nshima aba uwa kuko barushijeho kutuzirikana nk'abantu begereye ishyamba kandi bakaba baduteza intambwe kugira ngo ubundi tuzagire icyo tugeraho. Amaze kuyimpa kuko namaze kugera kuyibona bituma habaho kugira ngo none ngiye kuyirebera ndebe ko nabona ifumbire ubundi yo guma ndashira mu murima kugira ngo tubone uko duhinga ubundi kugira ngo tubone icyo tweza n'abana baboneho nk'icyo kunywa ubundi. Bigeze aho nibwo nagize Imana mpuza umugisha n'igitekerezo cyane cyo nifuzaga inka ibaho iyi mu rukurera. None bigeze aho nibwo bagumijeho tuza kubona ko inka ifitiye akamaro, kuko byatumye abana bahinduka kuba bafite inka. Ubwo ishyamba duturiye naryo cyo nacyo nagishimira Imana, kuko narebaga ishyamba mbere ntari nabona inka, narirebaga nkaho ari umuvumo, ariko buno kubw'impamvu kubwo kureba inka iriho n'ibyo idufatiye ndeba ko ari umugisha, ko yampindukiye umugisha.
The story of revenue sharing is well told at Kaumaga Primary School, where the funds were used to construct a classroom block. At this school, a visible transformation story is told through a journey from the old to the new classroom structure. Access to clean and safe drinking water can be a challenge in the hilly, rugged terrain in Bwindi. Realizing that people were risking going to water bodies used by wildlife, some of the revenue-sharing funds were used to construct water harvesting tanks with a capacity of 20,000 litres each, thus reducing the challenges of accessibility to clean and safe drinking water. Alphonse Mbiyaimana of Nkuringo Town Council is among the beneficiaries of the water tanks.
Uwa ikatuyamba amezi injira yabiri kugwa turashemererwa munongo. Iyo injira yabiri kugwa ituyambaga munongo. Konka umushana gwajwa amezi gakahwamo tugiraga ikizibu cy'abatahi abaratahaho barijaga amezi bakagabura ugasanga bari kujumana ngo turi kubima amezi kugira ngo kizibu cy'amezi kihweho nuko bayongera etanka batwongera etanka noneho nkamaka nka shatu bakagira etanka.
This one has also helped the community members to reduce on the challenges of accessibility to safe and clean water. Initially, children were walking for very long distances, going to look for water. Sometimes they would go to school very late. They would delay to go to school, especially during the dry season. Sometimes they would walk for long distances and they reached school very late, and others were dropping out of school. This contributed to an increased enrollment in school because children were suffering to go to school and sometimes they would not reach there.
Another visible community intervention initiated by Uganda Wildlife Authority is Clouds Mountain Gorilla Lodge. Built in partnership with the community, the lodge is making positive change to support communities. Uwa signed a contract with a community group known as Nkuringo Community Development Foundation, granting them exclusive rights to access 6 gorilla permits for Nkuringo gorilla family that are used by the concessionaire for tourists staying at Clouds Lodge. The lodge gives the community a share from the accommodation money paid by each guest that stays at the lodge.
Under the umbrella organization of Nkuringo Community Conservation and Development Foundation, we were able to establish an eco lodge, Clouds Mountain Gorilla Lodge, for the community, where the community also generate revenue from bed nights. At the moment, the community receives a revenue of $40 for every visitor that sleeps in that lodge. The lodge belongs to the community, only that it is run by a professional on behalf of the community.
The percentage of money that goes from guests per bed night gets given to the community where they will sponsor. We also sponsor students that come in, that we can teach them the hospitality industry. We get them here over a year period, and we get them to work in all the departments. So even in times where I need outside people to come and work, I will employ them here on a freelance basis so that we can give them also a salary.
Kenneth Tumbwine is the Vice Chairman, Nkuringo Community Development Foundation.
Uwa has helped us very many things. For example, job opportunities, because when Uwa wants the people to work in the park, the first priority is given to the people around Nkuringo, which is the southern sector of Bugindi. When Uwa came, I started this Nkuringo Community Conservation Development Foundation by acquiring the land where Clouds is built. We have gained much from Clouds because whoever stays in Clouds, we get $40 per person per night. We have constructed a community secondary school. So whoever goes in that community secondary school is being sponsored by NCCDF. And we have also constructed a health center across Buguli because, as I said, the money which we normally get from Clouds was to improve the livelihood and the standards of people living in the community.
In order to spread the benefits from the park to a wider community, Uganda Wildlife Authority has partnered with Ride for a Woman. Ride for a Woman is among those NGOs communities around the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. Ride for a Woman is based around Buhoma and aims to empower disadvantaged women socially and economically. Most members have sad backgrounds. Some are widows, others are single mothers. Some have been domestically abused, while others are HIV positive. Despite this, the women at Ride for a Woman have one goal: to harness the opportunities that come with conservation and to improve their livelihoods. The women mostly use raw materials harvested from the forest to produce different craft products. The park has helped them by allowing members to collect raw materials from the park and by providing a steady stream of tourists who buy their products.
If it wasn't for the park, this organization wouldn't have been there. The products that we make, it is actually, I would say 100%, the people that buy them are from the tourists that come to do gorilla tracking. And the materials that we also use are actually got from the forest. We have a very good relationship with the park in that at the end of the day, they allow a few women to go into the park to collect the materials that we actually use to make some of those products. The park has also tried as much as they can to empower communities in a way that there is revenue that comes within the park at the end of the year that they bring in to support the communities. I would pray and I would ask people to try as much as they can to make sure we can protect the little forests, the little areas that we have our animals, so that at the end of the day they can always bring in income to help the communities.
They are also involved in tailoring, producing different styles of garments and t-shirts, which they sell to tourists. For more income, Ride for a Woman runs accommodation facilities, and its members perform traditional dances and songs for tourists who visit the park for gorilla tracking. The culturally rich and educative Bwindi Batwa forest experience revolves around a special trail in the forest in the southern sector of Bwindi Impenetrable National Park. The Batwa were originally a tribe of hunter-gatherers with ancient knowledge of the jungle secrets before the forest was gazetted into a national park. Today, with support from Uganda Wildlife Authority, special Batwa trails in the forest shed light to the magic of their old home. Along these trails, the Batwa demonstrate to visitors how their past life was. They perform songs, exhibit hunting and survival skills. Uganda Wildlife Authority has a memorandum of understanding with Nkuringo Cultural Center to implement the Batwa forest experience, which is one of the cultural tourist products the park offers.
We have trails that are designed and maintained to allow visitors access to the park. But also the fact that the Batwa were staying in the park before it was gazetted, we now as Uganda Wildlife Authority given them access to the park, especially when they are taking visitors, but also when they have resources that they want to access, like medicine and building materials like crops and so on. So that is our contribution and collaboration that we have with the Batwa community that live, outside the park.
With their ancient survival skills, the Batwa don't need matchboxes or lighters to make a fire. They have immense knowledge about medicinal plants in the park, as Nyira Kayanja Mtwakazi demonstrates.
Izi ni imboga kandi zirakora imibazi nyinshi. Wazirya tahura homa. Wazirya zirazana ishagama mu mubiri. Wazirya barazita inderema. Nizo twiyambisha gatwari inyama cyane z'ishamba rero tugahindura hizi mboga.
As Uganda Wildlife Authority, what we have done is to link the Batwa to different organizations, funding organizations. For example, we have International Gorilla Conservation Program and the Bwindi Mogahinga Conservation Trust. These are organizations that have come up to support the Batwa conservation programs, and the way they do it is through trainings that is given to the Batwa to carry out these activities, but also looking for funding to support their livelihoods.
The Batwa are good musicians and dancers. Some of their performances are about conserving the forest that was once their home. For Batwa, their jungle knowledge, spiced by music, and the affinity for remaining close to nature will keep the forgotten jungle secrets alive. With Uganda Wildlife Authority's creative conservation initiatives that benefit the community, the noise of vuvuzelas spiced by the Batwa songs and drums will keep piercing the misty forest. The gorilla population will keep growing, and the money will always seep through to the communities to make them appreciate the fruits of conservation. With all these initiatives, Uganda Wildlife Authority will always conserve for generations. This is Makshon Falls, the most powerful waterfalls in the world. At Makshon Falls, all waters of the mighty River Nile try to squeeze their way to the Mediterranean Sea through an 8-meter narrow gorge. The sheer force of the water creates a devil's cauldron, albeit with an awesome beauty spiced by a rainbow. Uganda's biggest national park, Makshon, is named after these powerful waterfalls. Welcome to Makshon Falls National Park. Makshon Falls National Park, managed by Uganda Wildlife Authority, is located in the northern part of the Albertine Rift Valley, where the Bunyoro escarpment tumbles into vast palm-dotted savanna, teeming with wildlife. The park is bisected by the River Nile into the southern and northern banks and is the oldest and biggest national park in Uganda. Gazetted in 1952, the park is part of the wider 5,045 square kilometers Makshon Falls Conservation Area that includes Bugungu and Karuma Wildlife Reserves. The park itself measures 3,480 square kilometers. Makshon Falls National Park hosts 76 mammals and 451 bird species, respectively, making the park one of the most ideal destinations for both big game and birding expeditions in Africa. The masterpiece of this miniature's marvel is the part of the park at Makshon Falls. The falls were named after the then president of the National Geographic Society, Sir Roderick Makshon, by Sir Samuel Baker in 1864. Baker was a British explorer. Other notable visitors to the park include Theodore Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, Ernest Hemingway, Kanye West and wife Kim Kardashian, and several British royals. The 1951 film The African Queen, starring Humphrey Bogart, was filmed on Lake Albert and the Nile in Makshon Falls National Park. Makshon Falls National Park can be reached by both road and air. By road, it is about 4 to 5 hours from Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. The park can also be reached using chartered aircraft from Kajansi or Entebbe International Airport. Uganda Wildlife Authority puts a lot of effort to preserve and manage the park resources to conserve for future generations. Uganda Wildlife Authority works closely with neighboring communities to conserve the park for their benefit. For example, the park gives 20% of the park entrance revenue to the communities to enhance their livelihoods and improve social services. The funds are used on projects such as health facilities and schools, among others.
So we've done a number of community initiatives that are aimed at bringing communities on board to appreciate the park, because we conserve the park together with the local communities. We have a number of programs that we implement with communities, and one of them is revenue sharing, where we give 20% of our park entrance fees to the district's local government surrounding the park. We have about 62 parishes which are touching the park. In each of those parishes we have implemented a number of projects, and some of them include healthy centers, construction. We've actually constructed schools, we have constructed classroom blocks within the schools. We have one of the healthy centers called Vugana Healthy Center 3. It is actually from its beginning, even actually the first building was constructed out of revenue sharing.
Before it was constructed, people would move around 20 kilometers away from here to access the health services. We are offering the OPD, outpatient services. We are providing the antenatal
that is maternity. Mothers are delivering from here and they are doing antenatals from here. We always do immunization. We therefore appreciate the efforts of Uwa Revenue, because if it was not their revenues, we don't think now this facility would be in existence. We admit minor cases around. So when they become major, beyond us, that's when we refer.
We have also done a school. We have Ongwedo Seed Secondary School. Of late it has been taken over by government.
Ongwedo sub-county had no any secondary school. Students were moving from Ongwedo sub-county to other neighboring sub-counties 20 kilometers. And this one caused high rate of dropout because students couldn't be in position to move long distance to go for studies. But now as I talk, most of students are studying. Before we were coming in, our enrollment was 60-something students, the whole school. After coming in of UWA, using the revenue sharing to construct all these existing classrooms and staff quarters, the enrollments increased from 65 to 338.
Whenever there is wildlife near communities, there is bound to be human-wildlife conflicts. The conflicts usually arise when wildlife strays from the park to homesteads and gardens. Animals can destroy gardens, forcing communities to retaliate, sometimes with ugly consequences. Working closely with communities, Uganda Wildlife Authority has put in place a number of interventions to mitigate human-wildlife conflict because community-led approaches are considered more sustainable. Some of the measures put in place are construction of electric fences, trenches, and beehives fences along the park boundaries.
We have animals that come out of the park and they terrorize communities. They come out, eat the crops, and also at times even cause injury. As UWA, we have put in place various interventions. You will find that these interventions, either there's a single intervention or they are working hand in hand.
Electric fences to shock off animals from straying into communities have been constructed in parts of Nuoya and Oyam districts in northern Uganda.
This electric fence is in Oyam district. Before it was even put there, we initially had the trench, which was there. But as we saw that still the elephants would come out because Oyam has a long stretch of swamps. So you find that these elephants would pass through the swamps and still access the community land. At the moment, the prevalences of the elephants has reduced. Since it was put there, we have not had a case of death, of injury, meaning that the electric fence is doing its work. It's very effective in deterring these elephants from going to community land.
How does the electric fence prevent animals from crossing the park boundaries into community land?
Along the main electric fence line, we have the outriggers which are facing inside the electric fence line, so that when the elephant comes, before it touches, it reaches at the main electric fence line, it touches these outriggers which are 90 degrees facing inside. So when the elephant touches here, the chest, it is shocked. It works in pulses. It hits, it releases. It hits, it releases. It is solar powered. Every day we have power from at least where we come from January to December.
Before the fence, some communities around the park never used to engage in serious agricultural production, fearing they would lose their crops to animals. But today, the stories of happiness, big harvests, and thick passes.
Right now, they have brought the electric fence. Now we are okay. For me, I've planted 40 acres of soya. So now I'm now okay. Now we even have now a group. So we are even requesting the government if they can help us with the tractor. Last year, I got 130 bags of soya. I sold at 3,500. I got like 34 million.
Another way of preventing wildlife from crossing the park boundaries into communities is by use of trenches. In a collaboration with the communities, the park has constructed elephant trenches along the park boundaries in different parts to deter animals from crossing. Communities around the park happily participate in the construction of these trenches.
The trenches that we have here in Karuma Wildlife Reserve, we dig them 2 meters wide, 2 meters down. And these trenches in most cases are dug by the community members themselves. In areas where we have put the trench, the elephant can't cross. Also other animals can also see the trench is there, and this prevents them from coming to the community land and causing destruction. Initially, in areas where there was no trench, there was no crop. So now the benefit is that the farmers are able to plant their crops. Their livelihood has also improved because the crops they are growing, they are able to get money out of it and be able to take children to school and afford the basic needs. And also there's improved relationship between Uwa and the community.
With support from the park, communities have set up beehive fences along some park boundaries to mainly keep elephants at bay. The beehives are a classic example of killing two birds with one stone. Big as they are, elephants fear and loathe the sting of bees. To avoid being stung, elephants keep away from the beehives and thus remain within the park. On the other hand, communities harvest honey from the beehives and sell it for cash.
We normally engage communities through collaborative management agreements. These communities place their beehives along the boundary line. The beehives, at times, Uwa buys for the communities, and also we have NGOs.
David Okello Munu is a member of Ribe Enteko beekeeping group in Karuma, who earns big from selling honey.
I'm into beekeeping because of the support of the Uwa. This is 1 liter. We sell now 25,000. From one hive, we can get like from 10 kilograms, even some can go to 25 kilograms from one hive. So in a year, we harvest twice. That means in one hive, you can get like 50 kilograms in a year if the harvest is good. I'm so grateful to Uwa because right now it is improving our livelihood. As you can see, at least I can get some money and I'm even affording at least to buy some nice dresses for myself.
Angels are only in heaven, they say. So among the community members are also some black sheep that enter the park for dark motives, to poach wildlife. The management of Murchison Falls National Park, working with community, has an answer for poachers under its arm of law enforcement.
The major thing which we do as law enforcement is to ensure that fauna and flora are protected for future generations. We being few and the community being many surrounding the whole park, we work hand in hand with them. We share with them information what is happening inside, and also they share with us what is happening outside. So community, we work hand in hand with them. We have got a lot of benefit from them, and most of the animals, because most of the animals are staying outside, so they also protect. Also on our side, with our department of CC, we give them revenue sharing. That revenue sharing, the 20% which we give them, also to benefit from the resources. They are the ones suffering with these animals. Despite that, we are working with the communities in a good way, but there are some few who are not good. So these people resort themselves to poaching. They poach with different tools. Most of the worst tool which they come with guns, which we have ever impounded and forwarded them to the police, and the others taken to Kampala. And they also come with the traditional poaching tools, like the wire snares.
Tons of traps and snares designed to kill or trap wildlife have been recovered from the park and poachers.
We have wire snares. We have very many types of wire snares. Like this one, small. It looks small. This one targets small animal, antelopes. But this one here, they can even catch giraffe also. This one here is for hippos. They tie a very long rope on it with a cork at the end of the rope. Then they get a stick, they put here. They stab it. When it is moving in the water, they reach it's getting where it is by using the cork, where the cork is. These are arrows. And this is a bow. This is only for killing small animals like the edible rats and the small ones.
When we are on patrol, these tools which they have, the weed trap, the wire snares, they are not only restricted to animals, they are also restricted to the rangers. We have around 6 to 7 tons, which has been collected within a period of 4 years.
The park gets financial resources needed for conservation through tourism. Murchison Falls National Park offers a variety of tourist activities. The varied habitats of the park make it home for a variety of birds. With 451 bird species recorded, the list includes the shoebill stork, which can be easily found around the delta, the Goliath heron, the largest heron in the world.
Birding is one of the best activities that people who like flights in colors do here in Murchison Falls. We have a number of bird species. We have approximately 451 bird species, and we have those endemics that are only found within the Albertine Rift, and Murchison Falls host most of them. One of the bird species that people come from all over the world is the shoebill. The shoebill is mainly found in the Delta region.
Scheduled daily boat cruises to the bottom of Murchison Falls are another rewarding experience to view wildlife and birds. The falls mark the final event of an 80-kilometer stretch of rapids before the river calms down. From the falls, the placid river, whose banks teem with wildlife and birds, flows across the Rift Valley floor into Lake Albert. Some of the animals seen during the boat cruise include, but are not limited to, hippos, waterbacks, crocodiles, buffaloes, and much more. A variety of waterbirds can also be sighted during the boat ride, such as African fish eagle, African darter, giant kingfisher, red-throated bee-eater. This section of the River Nile at the bottom of Murchison Falls is regarded by some anglers as one of the best fishing spots in the world. The most popular fish for anglers is the Nile perch.
Sport fishing is one of the activities that interests so many people. It is designed in a way that you pick fish from the water, measure, weigh, and return it back.
Murchison Falls National Park is composed of woodland, wetlands, savanna, as well as tropical forests. This habitat is home to a variety of both big and small game. The various trails in the park allow visitors to get up close with animals such as lions, buffaloes, elephants, warthogs, Uganda cobs, Jackson's hartebeest, jackals, waterbacks, oribis, and Patter's monkeys. The Patter's monkeys are the only savanna monkeys in Uganda, and much more. Nocturnal animals and birds can be seen during the night game drives. Murchison Falls National Park hosts the biggest population of the Rothschild giraffes in the world. These gentle, majestic and towering giants over the savannah are hard to miss during game drives.
Specifically here in Murchison Falls, we have Rothschild giraffe. And yes, it is distributed in some countries like Sudan, a few in South Africa and Kenya. But Murchison is proud to be having the biggest population of Rothschild giraffe. We estimate to be having 1,980 Rothschild giraffe.
Murchison Falls National Park has several trails for those that would like to explore the park on foot. Among the most outstanding is Baker's Trail that explores the top of Murchison Falls. The top of the falls commands scenic views of the Nile as it enters the narrow gorge to form the world's most powerful waterfall. This is not all. Uhuru Falls, formed during the floods of the early 1960s, can also be viewed along this trail as a bonus.
So here we are at the top of the Murchison Falls. The waterfall is flowing between a gorge. In the year 1962, in Uganda, it was a year of Ugandan independence. So during that year, the country was blessed with heavy rainfall. And the heavy rainfall flooded the River Nile. So due to strong water pressure, the river busted its bank at the northern side. So part of the river water was flowing off the gorge down to the bottom, and it formed the second waterfall. And that second waterfall was named Uhuru Falls. Uhuru is a Swahili word for independent.
Standing at the top of Murchison Falls is a rewarding experience. You see, smell, and hear the awesome roar of the falls. The rainbow formed by the thundering falls is legendary. And mystical is the watery mist that spices the everlasting battle between water and rock. It is the power of nature at its fullest. Standing over the spot where the Nile squeezes through an 8-meter narrow gorge with unbelievable force is the climax of the ultimate safari in Murchison Falls National Park, Uganda's premium wildlife destination. Overwhelmed by the magic of nature, at the top of Murchison Falls, couples kiss. This is the pearl of Africa.
Africa, the only place in the world for man's closest living relative, the chimpanzee. A native to the forest and savanna of tropical Africa, mainly in West, Central, and East Africa. In East Africa, Chibale Forest in western Uganda hosts the largest chimpanzee community and commands the highest diversity and concentration of primates. Today, it's considered one of the best safari destinations in Africa for chimpanzee tracking. Welcome to Chibale National Park, Uganda's primate capital of the world. There are over 200,000 chimpanzees in Africa, and Uganda hosts a quarter of them, majority of whom residing in Kibale National Park, a proven habitat to all forms of life, mostly East Africa's unique primates. Kibale National Park is a tropical rainforest covering 795 square kilometers, 26 kilometers southeast of Fort Portal City, the country's tourism city.
Kibale National Park, first of all, is located within 5 districts. That is Kabarole District, Kasese District, Kenjojo District, Bunyangabo District, and Kamwenge District.
This park was formerly gazetted as a crown forest in 1930 before becoming a game reserve in 1964, known as Queen Elizabeth National Park, Kibale Forest Corridor Game Reserve. By 1992, due to population pressure, the government of Uganda embarked on an eviction exercise from the forested area to pave way for the elevation of the reserve into a fully fledged national park in 1993.
Kibale National Park basically consisted of the Kibale Forest and then the game corridor. Those days the game corridor was under the game department, whereas the forest was under the forest department. Now when the two were put together, the management of that area was then handed over to national parks.
The park is a habitat to 13 primate species, and chimpanzees are the principal tourist attraction in this national park.
We conserve both fauna and flora, that is animals and plants, but the key is the chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee habituation activities have created a unique experience for the tourists, and today Kibale National Park is considered one of the best safari destinations in Africa for chimpanzee tracking.
Habituation is a process that we take the chimpanzees through from wild behavior to behavior that can interact with humans. You can stay with a chimp about maybe 10 meters away and doesn't harm you.
I know we have been told to keep a distance to the chimps, but I think you forgot to tell the chimps, because they cross us so closely, they almost push off all our track and say, this is my route, I'm coming here, I'm passing you.
We come across the big pack of them. I saw around 50 details of them. And it is really amazing. They just stand close to you, play around, sitting, watching. They look at you. You can watch them and see how their activities are really similar to us. This was one of my biggest dreams, to see the apes. And Kibale Forest is amazing. It is just wonderful.
This exercise makes them more familiar with their close relatives, and when they meet, their reception shows it all. Uganda is host to a number of chimpanzee habitats, but Kibale National Park stands out with the highest chances of spotting these human-like creatures in their communities.
This is the only place in Uganda where you can easily, you are assured that when I go to Kibale, I will not come back without having seen the chimpanzees.
Here we've recorded about 1,450 individual chimpanzees living in Uganda, which is about a quarter of the Ugandan chimpanzee population.
You can see the babies are playing. You can see them swinging in the trees. They are playing, they are having fun, and they are even having fun with each other.
At full bellies, early morning naps are just enough for these male chimps to ignore the presence of noisy tourists. These tourists are treated to rare moments with these peaceful individuals before they disappear deep inside the forest. By 1992, chimp numbers were very low due to the encroachment on their habitat, and government took intensive conservation activities to restore this national pride.
We do a lot of monitoring to ensure that there are no bad elements coming to threaten their stay here. We also do a number of patrols to ensure that they are really safe inside. And we also have researchers. They help to tell us which groups have probably given birth. They give us information about best management practices.
Chimpanzees feel much more secure under the cover of this tropical rainforest, the only remaining protected forest in the entire area.
The only place where they can easily access food from is the national park here.
The forest has a lot for the chimpanzees to depend on in terms of food and in terms of materials to use when they are building their nests.
So you find that they try to live within. And then, of course, the protection that we are giving also is the other thing that makes them feel that they are very secure.
But also, the communities around this forest are not so much into poaching primates. The Batoros, who are the closest neighbors to this forest, don't hunt primates.
Sensitization that we do to the communities also makes them feel much more secure inside here.
Still, there are other things like other monkeys which chimpanzees predate on whenever they need meat to eat.
Like humans, their families are headed by an alpha male which takes a lead role in determining their daily activities, including movements in search for food and fresh habitats.
Chimpanzees live in families, and there's a lot of bonding between members within the family.
They share together their food, they hunt together, they like a big family.
And also the grown-ups are social. They stay together and they help each other being clean.
If the father does not say, let's move out the other side, you find that the family stays together.
Chimpanzees have got a social structure, like in families, where you find the head of family, as in humans. And in chimpanzees, you'll find the alpha male. So this is the head of the community.
Their relativeness extends further to human social behaviors in feeding, hunting, and many times chimps have been documented using tools just like humans.
Genetically, chimpanzees are 98.7% are related to humans. When it comes to the way they relate with one another, this is so much close to how humans do it. How the chimpanzee mothers treat their babies is exactly how humans do it.
The park is home to Ngogo Research Chimpanzee Community, believed to be the largest chimpanzee community in the whole world.
Here we've got a community that has slightly above 30 members living together. And then we've got one big community that has about 200 members living together. And this community with 200 members is a research community that is only visited by people who are coming to study chimpanzees. And this is called the Ngogo Research Chimpanzee Community.
Apart from Ngogo, there are other breakaway groups which have also formed their own communities, but still wandering within the vicinity of the main community.
The one that has about 35 is a research group too, called the Sevitoli Chimpanzee Community. And then we've got one other research community called Kanyawara Research Community, which has around 60 members. And then we have 2 communities for tourism called the Kanyantale Chimpanzee Community for Tourism, with about 100 to 120 members living together in a territory of about 25 to 30 square kilometers. And then we have one other community that is visited by people doing what we call the chimpanzee habituation experience. This is an activity where tourists go and stay for about 4 hours when they are following the chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees are territorial primates, and living in big numbers is everyone's obligation and a key component towards securing their communities.
Chimpanzee communities never meet for peace. They only meet at the front line. So this area is very close to another chimpanzee community. So they need to be many together, so that in case of any encounter with a foreign community, then they can be able to stand the fight.
These communities are led by alpha males, although some individuals travel and forage in much smaller groups to avoid disputes with their masters, especially during the mating season. Social grooming is an act of submission among the low-ranking males that may want to make peace with their elders, but to some individuals, it's another way of getting a free meal.
Grooming majorly is a way of cleaning one another, because when you saw them grooming, they were checking for ticks. So the more you groom, the more ticks you get, and you know ticks are a good source of protein.
Kibale National Park is one of the last remaining expanses in Africa to contain both lowland and montane forests, abundant food sources for these primates.
It's the presence of food that makes these chimpanzees get together in big numbers, because they don't care. There will be no competition. But if food is scarce, like what we've just gone through a few months ago, you'd never find 10 chimpanzees together.
Chimpanzees prefer fruits above all other food items, but also feed on leaves, seeds, stems, and the bark. They are also known to hunt both insects and other invertebrates, and sometimes kill their competitors and feed on them as a sign of dominance in the jungle.
Chimpanzees are cannibals at the same time because they predate on fellow chimpanzees. And this mainly happens when chimpanzees encounter a foreign community, and within the fights, one opposite community can be able to get some babies from the other community and they kill them and eat the meat.
Chimpanzees are identified as priority species and one of the most ecologically important species on the planet, despite being among the endangered species threatened mostly by human and other activities. These primates are susceptible to many infectious diseases that afflict humans, and their protection is highly regarded during their tracking.
We are supposed to have a maximum number of 6 tourists per group. And then these tourists are supposed to stay for only 1 hour with the chimpanzees. And they are supposed to maintain a distance of 8 meters. That is about 24 feet between the chimpanzees and themselves as the observers.
Kibale's varied vegetation offers different varieties of wildlife habitat, ranging from the moist evergreen forest along the Fort Portal Plateau to the woodland and savanna along the Rift Valley floor. This vegetation rises above 55 meters, establishing a semi-closed canopy of massive stratified tree crowns, mostly around Kanyanchu, located in the central part of the park. The high forest cover here is dominated by a mixture of the evergreen tree species assorted with a variety of ferns, shrubs, forest grasses, and a scant undergrowth.
In terms of flora, we have a number of tree species, And most of them, incidental, are medicinal. And that is really puts a lot of value to these trees. There are trees like bogia, is also medicinal, ficus, different species of ficus, which are liked by mainly primates.
Chibale is perfect ground to East Africa's biggest population of the most endangered apes, particularly the red colobus monkeys, the black and white colobus, red-tailed monkeys, blue monkeys, and the olive baboons. There are, however, other unique wildlife species being conserved under Chibale National Park, particularly the forested area. Baboons are some of the dominant primate species in this forest, but majority have abandoned the forest and now feed along the Fort Portal Kamwenge Road.
Also conserve other animals like elephants. We have elephants in this forest. We have a few buffaloes. And the one thing is that this park is connected with the Queen Elizabeth National Park. So there is that movement of animals from Queen to Kibale and vice versa. We have reptiles here, manta lizards, here snakes, here there are people who love snakes.
The Chibale Forest Walk Trail is 12 kilometers long, and its hiking tours offer an opportunity to discover the park's assorted habitats, such as riverine forest, swamp, grassland, and tropical rainforest. The park is a home to 325 different bird species, including 6 that are native to the Albertine Rift Valley area.
One of them, which is very, very attractive, which brings people here, is this one here. This is the green-breasted pitta. It's one of those sought-after birds in this national park. People come all the way from Europe just trying to see this bird here. And then we have parrots. Parrots are so many in this park, and we have tried to ensure that even when they go out, they come back because of the availability of food in this park.
The humility and hospitality of the neighboring communities has made Chibale National Park visitors feel home and created an enabling environment for their coexistence with the park.
Ugandan people are so friendly everywhere. They always, as soon as you just say, Uliocha Sepu, they are so happy and they smile. And yeah, so really in general of all, it is so nice to be here, to travel here, because people are so friendly.
This relationship paid off with favorable offers from the park authorities in serving its conservation purposes.
These people are doing crafts. Some of them are guides or porters at our visitor centers. Some people have come up with their own facilities, small facilities, but they give them earning. So this one also brings in happiness to the people who are getting something from the park. First of all, the major benefit which communities neighboring Chibale National Park benefit from this park is firewood. Is on high demand from the people who neighbor this park. So when they come and they request and we allow it to be collected in a sustainable way, I see these people really happy of the presence of the park.
These waivers have over the years contributed to the increased population pressure on the park boundaries, which poses a threat to not only the wildlife habitat, but also the park for food, fuel wood, and other resources which have made human-wildlife conflict inevitable.
We are now registering a lot of conflict between the people and the animals.
Park authorities have, however, conducted a number of community conservation activities to mend the relationship with the neighboring communities.
We allow communities access to certain resources within the national park. Through agreements, we sign agreements with the communities, access to some of these resources like grass for thatching their houses, poles for building, medicinal plants.
Then we have another mode of awareness where we take mobile clinic services to the communities. It is one way of motivating the communities, and if they are aware that we shall have mobile clinic services, we shall have a big turn up than when we go to do awareness without anything to give back to them.
Kichwamba Sub-County in Kasese District has recently been the most affected part of the neighboring communities, and this called for permanent interventions from the park authorities in all affected areas.
Management has embarked on constructing trenches along that area. So we hope that in the near future we shall have few or no attacks to the communities, because we shall have a permanent intervention in place. Management is also thinking of how to come up with electric fence, which is currently in Queen. We hope it will also roll down to Chibale, and if that is done, then that problem of elephants attacking people in this sub-county will be history.
Chibale National Park is continuous with Queen Elizabeth National Park, the most popular savanna park in Uganda. This simplified its accessibility from nearby cities, including the capital city, Kampala.
You are coming from Kampala, you travel to Fort Portal City, and then from Fort Portal City you take Kamwenge Road, you move 22 kilometers, you come to Kibale National Park. If you are coming from Mbarara side, you can come through Ibanda, and after Kamwenge, you will enter Kibale National Park.
The park is also connected with daily domestic flights from Kajansi Airfield and Mashishon Falls National Park. It offers a wide range of tented camps and safari lodges inside and outside the park, and some visitors are accommodated under community-run campsites close to the villages of Chikonyi, Byakarongo, and Nyaibanda.
In this park, we have one concessionaire, and that is Great Lakes Safaris. They have a lodge called Primate Lodge. They are the only ones who offer accommodation inside the forest. However, as Uwa, we also have accommodation, but we don't really take many people. We decided that let the private sector provide accommodation and let's concentrate on conservation.
Chimpanzee tracking is a fascinating and fun activity, attracting over 8,000 visitors every year to Chibale National Park. The over 5,000 resident chimpanzees in Chibale National Park have transformed the entire ecosystem of the park. Today, hundreds of wildlife species find life in this forested national park. The gateway to Uganda's abundant wildlife. 5 lakes, forest, and savanna grassland. The only national park where the biggest concentration of impalas, zebras, and elands are spotted. Home to African apex predators. And the nearest national park from Entebbe International Airport and the capital city Kampala. Welcome to Lake Mburo National Park, Uganda's Community National Park. Seated in the heart of Nyabushoji Hills in Chiruhura district, Lake Mburo National Park is a 4 hours drive from the capital city of Uganda, Kampala. Located along Masaka-Mbarara Highway, it borders two districts of Isinjiro and Mbarara City, the commercial hub of western Uganda. It is the smallest savanna park in Uganda, covering an area of 370 square kilometers, with its conservation area extending to nearby districts in the Greater Masaka and Ankole sub-region.
All these areas have important wildlife that are directly linked to the wildlife that we have inside the national park. Lake Nishema, the major wildlife which is there, we have hippos, and so is Leontonde with hippos. But when we go to Sango Bay, we have elephants and buffaloes. So all these are part of the responsibility of the conservation area, although what many people know is the national park called Lake Mburo National Park, which is 370 square kilometers.
The birth of this magnificent park has a cultural attachment to the Ankole Kingdom, which once prevailed way back in the 1930s.
The park started as a controlled wildlife hunting area way back in the 1950s. And this controlled wildlife area was mainly for the Ankole royals. So I can quickly say for sure conservation and gazettement of wildlife started way back before the Muzungus, because the king was the only one allowed to hunt in the area. And that's why when you are coming into this park, the last village to the park is called Rwamhuku, where the Wahuku or the slaves of the king used to stay. And when he's coming to hunt, they are the ones who would be helping him in doing this job. So there is a cultural attachment to this park. If you want culture, you'll find it there. We have the Ankole Conservation Trust, Ankole Cow Conservation Trust, Acha. They will give you all the Kinyankore culture stories and so on. You'll be knowing how to chan milk, all that is there. That's the cultural part of it.
In 1983, it was gazetted into a national park amidst a liberation war which ended in 1986. But today, the park is remaining with only 40% of its original composition. Lake Mburo National Park is Uganda's nearest national park from Entebbe International Airport, Kampala City, Masaka City, and approximately 30 kilometers east of Mbarara City.
It's the only park where you can come from the 3 cities with ISO, or maybe I can say 4. If you consider Kampala, 3 hours. Masaka, 2 hours to Mburo. Mbarara, 30 to 40 minutes. Fort Portal, 2 hours. And you're in Mburo, you'll enjoy everything you want to do and you'll go back to your home. So it's a place where the weekend can be sweet for those people who want to come for weekends, because we have quite a lot of things packaged together that you can get in one go in Lake Mburo National Park.
At Sanga town, along the highway, zebras, impalas, and buffaloes will give you a glimpse of the park's rich wildlife while feeding with cattle and other domestic animals over 10 kilometers outside the park. The gateway to Uganda's abundant wildlife, Lake Mburo hosts hundreds of bird species, cats, mammals, reptiles, and one of the world's most dangerous animal, the hippo.
It's a Ramsar site, and therefore if it is a Ramsar site, it's very important for migratory birds. We have quite a number of birds here, like the shoebill, which you can easily find in the wetlands around. We have also significant populations of topis in this particular park. We have even other big populations of buffaloes. We have big populations of waterbucks. We have big populations of warthogs. We have the hyenas. There are quite big numbers of them. So Mburo is critical and very good and unique in its own way.
It is habitat to Uganda's biggest population of impalas, wetland antelopes, the sitatunga, and the biggest antelope in the world, the eland. Lake Mburo is also known as a zebra park for hosting the highest number of zebras in all Uganda's national park. In 2015, Lake Mburo National Park widened its conservation scope with an introduction of the world's tallest mammal, the giraffe. 15 Nubian giraffes were translocated from Mashishon Falls National Park and have now multiplied to 45, boosting the area ecosystem. Their fast adaptation is attributed to the open savanna woodlands and bountiful acacia trees, their favorite meal. The park is home to one of Africa's big 5 game, the African Cape buffalo. The bulls control a herd of between 30 to 50 buffaloes, including females and their young ones, while the rejects seek solace and security from the world's most dangerous animal, the hippo. They wine and dine together in each other's territory and sometimes cooling off the heat with ease and peace. These gigantic beasts hijacked all water points in Lake Mburo National Park, including this community dam at Ramuhuku. During the dry season, hippos sneak into available water dams, making it a no-go area for communities. The park boasts of 5 lakes including Lake Mburo, Chigambira, Mutukura, Kibwika and Kazuma, which are habitat to both aquatic and semi-aquatic wild animals like crocodiles, hippos, snakes, and hundreds of resident water birds living on the shores. Boat cruise on Lake Mburo provides the best birding sites of over 350 bird species, including the rare shoebill, African fin-foot, fish eagle, red-faced barbet, among others. Here, visitors stand a 75% chance of spotting one of the most solitary and elusive cats, the leopard, mostly during night game drives. Tourists are treated to amazing unique activities, including horse riding and bicycle riding through the animal tracks.
In terms of tourism, we are the only park actually at the moment which is offering bicycle riding, cycling inside the park. You do your cycling and you'll enjoy it. So you cycle with the wildlife. We have game drives for those who want to drive around the park. Also we have horse riding for those who may want to do horse riding. We do it with a concessionaire. That's a unique product here. You will not get it elsewhere in the whole of Uganda.
With nature-guided walks, tourists are granted opportune moments to move up close to the wildlife. This experience provides maximum satisfaction and the actual feel of the natural wonders in the wilderness.
When I showed you when advert has eaten all the termites and the termite is dead. Then because the soils are very rich, baboons, birds, because they are feeding on the seeds, they poop on the top, then the trees grows. So when you check all those trees, wherever they are growing on termite mounds because the soils are very rich. Yeah.
More motorable drives have been opened in all corners of the park to create more wildlife sceneries to the tourists. This, in addition to the uprooting of thicket and invasive species, have upped chances of spotting shy animals like statunga and elands during game drives.
Lake Mburo National Park has very nice and good accessibility. When you're from the trading centers, if at all you're coming in from Kampala via Masaka, via Lyantonde, you can branch off from Akagate, or you can come up to Sanga Trading Center. The roads there are maintained in that all vehicles can maneuver.
Even your small car can reach. We don't have those, it's not hard to reach. You will drive your Corolla in Mburo from Kampala and you don't have to use a lot of fuel.
Accommodation facilities inside the park provide stunning wildlife views at affordable prices to both local and foreign visitors. Visitors are subjected to soothing voices echoing from the resident bird species residing in and around the facilities.
We have accommodation areas, quite a number of them. It's unique. There are those which are inside and those which are outside. But even those which are outside, you'll still be enjoying the park as if you're in the park. Those inside the park, definitely excellent. Way from Chigambira Safari Lodge, Acadia Cottages, we have Ronyo guest houses, you go to Montana Wilderness Camp, all these are resident in the park.
What you pay for is what you get. The setup itself, the serene, it is exclusive in such a way you're near nature. The design, the ambience, the food, the hospitality, it's of high class.
You come, you'll be with us inside. But if you say, okay, I'm a budget tourist and I want to stay outside a little bit, we have Eagle's Nest, Hyena Hill, Rangeland, we have Mburo Safaris, we have Mhingo, we have Mbogo, and others.
When you're at Chigambira Safari Lodge, it's an exclusive lodge. You can hold a party, you can hold a wedding, reception while you're inside the park. You have a 360 vantage view of Chigambira Lake itself. You can do sport fishing in Chigambira, you can relax.
So Mburo is one such park that will offer you all this in one go.
With a diminished conservation area, 60% of Lake Mburo wildlife stay on community land, putting the animals at risk of poachers. Animals like zebras, waterbucks, impalas, and buffaloes have inevitably encroached on neighboring ranches, feeding with cattle and other domestic animals in the neighboring communities, and these have sometimes destroyed their agricultural produce.
When animals go into the people's land, in most cases like the zebras, they eat the salt of the cattle grazers. Sometimes buffaloes end up knocking the cows. Hippos, once they go there into people's dams, they also conflict with their animals. And at the moment, poaching is still there at a minimal rate. And major they like poaching zebras, impalas, elands, and sometimes hippos, without even forgetting these warthogs. But the major animals that are being affected here in terms of poaching are the impalas and the zebras.
The park management, however, established a conflict resolution committee which settles community grievances, hence minimizing the dangers that arise from such.
Inside the park, it's not a very big threat. Instead, most of the poaching incidences are found outside the park. And being our mandate as law enforcement to protect wild animals in and outside the park, so we go beyond the park boundaries. And by the time Lake Mburo was gazetted as a national park, it used to be touching the Tamaka Road. So when it was reduced to 40%, some of the animals remained in the people's farms. So it is us who still go ahead to make sure that those animals are well protected.
We have an active Human-Wildlife Conflict Resolution Committee which coordinates us with the communities. If the park has any issue, before we go to court or where, we have to go to the Community Conflict Resolution Committee.
Our Community Conservation Department has been trying to sensitize the communities about the values of conservation and bringing harmony into existence and see ways how best they can really stay with the animals. And the communities around, generally, they have been too much cooperative, though such challenges are coming up.
So you need their support, you need their participation in conservation, or else you lose most of the animals. So we need their participation, we need their, their engagement in conservation to have this wildlife alive on their private land, but also to let them know that this wildlife is not for the park staff, it's not only for the park, but for the entire country.
The conservation area has also been subjected to community encroachment from especially pastoralists who have consistently grazed their cattle inside the park. Lake Mburo National Park has specifically identified money-minting activities to directly support communities in many aspects of life.
Some of our communities, we have allowed them to put in the park, in selected areas, beehives for purposes of generating income. Some fish caging within Lake Mburo for purposes of improving the household income of our people.
We have worked with the communities to improve their livelihood through modern livestock farming, where we give out good bulls and goats to the communities. We have worked with the communities to do poultry and a number of other projects under revenue sharing program.
We get money when the tourists come to visit the park. When they pay the park entry fee, 20% of revenue share comes back to us. And when it comes back to us through UWA, and then communities also are empowered from those 20% revenue share, and they create them to buy materials which help them to make these souvenirs.
In order to let people feel they are part of this, we have come in with a program of sport hunting with the management partner, Game Trails Uganda Limited, which brings in guests who come for sport hunting.
That one, the company signed with the government. They are the one authorized to hunt some of these big animals which they normally comes in. So whereby me as a resident, I normally get 40%.
And it's not small monies. For example, if they utilize a buffalo on your land, you automatically get 45% of $2,000. So it's not small monies.